Please remain standing, audience members and graduates, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Hello, I am Diane Hill, principal of Rockingham Early College High School. I welcome each of you, and I would like to thank you for taking the time this evening to help us celebrate the graduation of the class of 2016. We are very proud of the accomplishments of this amazing group of students. At this time, I would like to recognize those who are participating in our program tonight, as well as some of our special guests. On the stage, we welcome Dr. Mark Kinlaw, president of RCC, Dr. Rodney Shotwell, superintendent of Rockingham County Schools, Dr. Charles Perkins, assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction for Rockingham County Schools, Ms. Chandra Capel, director of educational partnerships for RCC, Mark Sattler, assistant professor of history for RCC, Mr. Kevin Hairston, guidance counselor of RECHS and one of the founding faculty members of our school, Ms. Jessica Barrier, former RECHS social studies teacher, and Mr. Will Smith, not the famous one, English teacher for RECHS. The students representing the class of 2016 tonight are Caroline Watkins, Karishma Desai, Abigail Erickson, and Ashlea Johnson. Our special guests who are seated in the audience include Ms. Nell Rose, chairperson of the Rockingham County Board of Education, and RCS Board of Education members, Ms. Virginia Hoover, Ms. Lori McKinney, Ms. Elaine McCollum, Ms. Amanda Bell, Ms. Ophelia Wright, and Mr. Ron Price. Representing Rockingham County Schools, we also welcome Mr. Greg Slate, Ms. Holly Williamson, and I had a list of others. I'm not sure if they made it or not, but thank you all who came tonight to support us and to support our students. Also, representing Rockingham Community College, we have Dr. Bob Laddermilk, Vice President for Student Development, and Ms. Suzanne Rohrbaugh, Vice President for Academic Affairs. We also welcome Mr. Mark Richardson from the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners. If I have missed any of the rest of you, thank you so much again for being here, and thank you for coming out. At this time, if you have not already done so, we request that you take the time to turn off your cell phones and other electronic devices. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration of this occasion. I will now turn the program over to Dr. Mark Kinlaw to bring greetings.
On behalf of our Board of Trustees, our faculty, and our staff, I would like to welcome you to our early college graduation. It's an honor for our college to partner with the public schools of Rockingham County for this innovative approach to high school. The early college concept is working well in many places, and it's working well here too. In fact, this early college has been nationally recognized. The success of the early college can only be attributed to the hard work of the faculty and staff of both the public schools and this college, and more importantly, the hard work of the early college students themselves. Family support is a critical aspect, and we appreciate the families of these students and your support for our college. I was part of an early college at a previous college, and it was interesting how skeptical people were about how the early college would work. Many thought that having high school age students on campus would pose all sorts of problems, and that they would struggle in college classes. Now, several years into the early college concept, we have dispelled the skeptics. Faculty are now finding that many of their best students are early college students. The concept is working. To the early college students that are graduating tonight, thank you for letting us be a part of your lives here at Rockingham Community College. I'm so impressed with the early college here and the experiences that we are seeing our students have. As graduates, you have excelled, and you have earned college degrees while attending high school, and in the process, you have saved your families a tremendous amount of money. You are now ready to transfer to a university or to go to work. Because of the success you have demonstrated in your high school and especially your college classes, I believe you have enhanced your academic transcript and have greatly improved your chance of getting into colleges of your choice. I congratulate you and congratulate the faculty and staff that have worked so hard with our graduates. Graduates, please tell your friends about the experiences that you have had here. I wish you well and congratulations.
Good evening. My name is Mark Sattler, and I teach history here at Rockingham Community College. And I am so honored to have been asked by the students of RECHS to speak tonight. This is a thrill and a pleasure for me, so thank you very much. I still think you should have and could have made a better choice, but we'll leave that to the end. First, let me say to the class of 2016, congratulations. You have done something truly amazing. Something almost no one else in this room can claim. You've graduated from high school and college in the same month. Yes, amen. You are years ahead of your peers. And you are already some of the most educated people in the United States and in the world, but do not let that be an excuse for you to never see the inside of a classroom again. You must retool at some point. So while I was thinking about what I wanted to say, I made the mistake of doing math. I think you all know that's a bad thing. I realized my last graduation was in 2002, 14 years ago, when most of you were in preschool. So, what can some old weirdo like me say to your generation that you can't learn from a video? Well, I had this great speech prepared, something about just get back up. You guys remember that? About how life is hard and you'll fail, but you keep on striving because you're worth it, or something like that. But then at your last graduation, by the way, who graduates from college before they graduate from high school? You guys. Yeah, all right. She stole my speech. It was a really good one too, wasn't it? So I went home. I cried a little. Okay, I cried a lot. And I started all over again. And once again, I was confronted with the question of what I can tell you that you haven't heard already. So here goes. To begin with, high school and college are not the real world. They're nothing like the real world. In fact, the real world and high school are almost completely different. Here, there's a plan and it's clear. Here, there's help, and excellent help at that. But life has no curriculum. The entire place is one big elective. Paths are infinite, results are uncertain. School is something you complete. Life is something you experience. So, you will want to get the most out of that experience. That means that the ultimate question of life is how? How do you keep getting back up? How do you achieve your goals and your dreams? And how do you get the most out of your life experience? All I can do is share with you what I've done in every class I've taught and just share my point of view. First, find your inspiration. Whatever it is that makes your heart sing, what absorbs every fiber of your being, that is your inspiration. And some of you are lucky. You've already found that. You found it in church or family, in a sport or a skill or some form of expression. Others of you will have to keep searching until your inspiration is found, but keep searching. This is where you can turn for guidance. This is where you turn for regeneration. Because, as your last speaker explained, life is hard and you will fail. And when you do, you will need something to help you pick yourself back up. You've already learned how to feed your body, how to feed your mind, but now you must learn how to feed your soul. For without that, life is drained of color and purpose. Without inspiration, we become robots, plodding through our days. So feed your soul. This is why I teach. Because whether you know it or not, you inspire me. And every person on this stage can say the same. But with inspiration, as with everything in life, there are rules. You know this very well, don't you? First, your inspiration must be something constructive. You must do something, create something, go somewhere new, be something more than you already are. Don't stay within your comfort zone. Don't keep going to the same places, hanging out with the same people. Second, your inspiration cannot be harmful to yourself or others. And I know I'm ruining most of your plans for this evening. I was there. Just don't get arrested. Don't stay in an unbalanced or an abusive relationship. Don't lose precious time to one addiction or another. Refusing to change, these are all traps, means of losing your path and your inspiration. Life is measured in the lives that you affect, including your own. So be sure that your inspiration makes your life and the life of others better. So that's it. Find your inspiration. Oh, wait, there's more. There's always more. Second, say yes. When opportunity comes, say yes. Be bold. Take chances. Lean in for that first kiss. Learn a new language. Try a new food. Jump on that last-minute flight to a place you didn't even know existed. These will be your most precious memories, the ones that will grow in their retelling. You ever see Grandpa just sit and stare off into nothing and start grinning? That's what he's thinking about. I hope. It's that moment when he was bold, when he said yes to a new adventure. Again, these will be the ways that you will measure your life. I'm amazed how time blurs all of our petty differences and our struggles. But those times that you were bold and you said yes to something new, these will become the markers by which you remember and measure your own life. Remember this above all others. This is your life. You have to live it. No one else does. I sincerely believe that our deepest regrets are not the things that we said or did, although God knows I have some of those regrets, but rather the opportunities we missed, the chances we could have taken. Do not let those opportunities pass you by because of fear. Once again, the same rules apply. Be constructive and do no harm. And last but not least, the third rule is be decent to yourself and others. Kindness, gentleness, goodness. These are not bad words. I know the world doesn't teach you this. You're supposed to be vicious and get yours. That is an empty path. All the holy men in history taught us to cultivate these traits of decency. Most of the time, unfortunately, we're concerned with our own well-being much more than the well-being of others. And yet we know that the path that takes us down is a path of selfishness, greed, and loneliness. It is so easy to allow fear and anger, frustration and pressure to make us into hard and jaded souls. It is so easy to act or to be bored, to think of ourselves first or last, or even not at all. And it's even more easy to criticize rather than contribute. That's what 9/10 of the internet now, isn't it? That is not the path to having the best life experience. Instead, take the time to really care about people when they ask. Stop what you're doing and look them in the eye. Stay honest and true in your relationships and treat yourself well. If you're not healthy now, get healthy in body and mind and spirit, and surround yourself with your own tribe. By that, I mean the people of blood and choice that will support and cherish you. You will need that for the rest of your days. Life can be magnificent. With these few guidelines, I've gotten to see and do amazing things. I've been to every state in the continental United States. I've been to dozens of countries. I've traveled to 5 of the 7 continents. I think we all know Antarctica doesn't really count. And Australia is just a big island with a lot of deserts. So I'm going to pass. I've spent winters in Russia and summers in Mexico, and now I reflect on that. I probably should have done that the other way around. I've learned 3 languages, eaten some of the strangest and most wonderful and most awful food in the world, and I've made hundreds of new friends around the globe. All of this, and I am blessed with a wonderful family, a job that I love, dear friends and colleagues and students like you who inspire me to keep pushing myself every day to be better. I did all this because I found my inspiration. I said yes to new experiences, and I am usually decent to myself and others. This is my formula for getting the most out of life experience. But always remember those rules. Be constructive and do no harm. Bob Marley said it best when he wrote that life is one big road with lots of signs. So when you're riding through the ruts, don't complicate your mind. Flee from hate, mischief, and jealousy. Don't bury your thoughts. Make your inspiration into reality. Wake up and live. Once again, I want to thank all of you for the honor of allowing me to speak before you today, and I send out my most sincere congratulations and my best wishes to the class of 2016. Thank you.
Good evening, family, friends, and special guests, and thanks for joining us tonight for the 2016 Rockingham Early College High School Commencement Ceremony. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate my classmates for reaching this milestone in their life. I am honored to be chosen to represent such a dedicated, talented, and diverse group of students. I would also like to thank the staff and faculty here at RECHS for their support given to me and my peers over the last 5 years. Attending the Early College High School program has granted me with tons of opportunities and experiences I would not have had otherwise. Whether you believe it or not, prior to attending high school, I was very shy and timid. I ran away from situations that required me to speak up, and I was afraid of any confrontation. For freshman English, we all had Mr. Hales and were assigned a research paper one week and a speech about the same topic the next. Mr. Hales pushed us to step outside of our comfort zone and discuss topics that were controversial. In public speaking, with Ms. Burrell, we had a class exercise that required us to publicly support or stand against highly controversial political issues. Whether Ms. Burrell asked our opinion on something as simple as tattoos or as complex as gay marriage, there was always someone standing on the other side of the room against you. Through these social encounters, I learned that sometimes confrontation is necessary for social change. One of my favorite quotes is from Desmond Tutu that reads, "If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor." Although we are young, as we embark on our next life experiences, we're going to witness injustice staring us right in the face. I challenge each and every one of you to speak up with poise, confidence, and passion. America's fight for equality is far from over, and you and me are the future. Don't let any fear stop you from doing what is morally right. Sophomore year, we were involved in the National Energy Education Development Project through Ms. TH's chemistry class. Our project involved many different sections, including infomercials and a campus-wide energy audit here at RCC. Little did we know we were going to win the North Carolina Senior Level School of the Year award for our project and have the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. 2 other classmates and I went to Washington, D.C. to represent our school. Nevertheless, no one in our school of 200 people at that time from small Rockingham County expected us to win this award. By traveling to Washington, D.C., I learned a few things, including how to travel via a subway system, how to make money when you're absolutely broke, which I'm sure will be helpful in college, and how painful chub rub is. And if you don't know what chub rub is, consider yourself lucky. But most importantly, I learned that where you're from does not determine where you can go. Finally, I want to end with the most memorable experiences I had while in high school, and that was being part of the National Honor Society. There were 2 service projects that really taught me the importance of being humble and kind. My senior year, we made 15 care packages to send around the world to servicemen from Rockingham County. I ended up hearing back from a gentleman that was in the Air Force, and he was stationed in Syria. He wanted us to know how much he appreciated his package because since he enlisted in the Air Force, his family disowned him, and he hadn't received a single piece of mail since then. When you volunteer, you do not expect any type of reward for your time, but let me tell you, the impact you make is much greater than any amount of dollar signs. Class of 2016, there are going to be times when we're swamped with responsibilities of life, but make time for others. The National Honor Society also volunteered at Wentworth Elementary School this past semester, and I was assigned to work in a kindergarten class. 2 students were very far behind, and I started working independently with them. One of the students had just moved here from Guatemala, and she spoke absolutely no English. And the other students faced issues at home. No one in the school spoke much Spanish, and the English as a second language teacher was only on campus once a week. One day, the little girl told her teacher that she needed to use the restroom, but in Spanish, of course, and I understood what she said. After that, she thought I could speak Spanish, but I didn't argue with her. I learned the importance of programs such as English as a second language and assistance for immigrants. We need to recognize that just because something doesn't apply to ourselves personally, it doesn't make it any less necessary or important part of society. The boy I worked with only knew 10 letters of the alphabet when we started and 3 sight words. On my final day, he knew all his letters and 29 sight words. The growth I saw in him taught me the importance of patience and compassion. Taking nearly an hour and a half to cover basic words such as I, am, and she can become very frustrating. He even started to call me Mom, and I made sure to correct him real quick. You never know what someone is experiencing at home. Although it can be hard to walk with a smile on your face and listen to a stranger talk about their life stories you're really not interested in, just sharing your time can improve their life. I am forever grateful for the faculty here at RCHS, the great friends I have made, and the experiences I have had. Be brave and speak up when you witness injustice. Do not limit yourself based off any circumstance. And when you're doing things for others, do them as you're doing for yourself. Again, congratulations and thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Congratulations to my fellow graduates. We have done what a lot of people haven't. We have graduated from college before high school. Some of us receiving degrees before diplomas. I don't care what anyone says, we are amazing. Every single one of us. As this journey comes to an end, we fully embrace our future, well-equipped to encounter new adventures. I am so very proud of every single one of you. In this room, our guests are watching as we cross over into new paths and become artists, doctors, engineers, writers, teachers, and so much more. There is no limit to the potential and the levels that can be reached by the graduates in this room. As we look back on the road that has led us here, we remember our freshman orientation and posing for our student ID pictures, ready or not. We remember our first bus ride to RCC and our first day of classes with Mr. Seltzer, Ms. TH, Mr. Hales, seminar with Ms. Thompson. We remember hoping to see some of our old friends from middle school join us and being a little disappointed when they didn't. Luckily, making friends was easy because we were all the new kid, and we were all looking for someone to eat lunch with. As freshman year concluded, we found our group of friends, our way around campus, and strong calf muscles to prove it. The beginning of sophomore year brought so much anticipation surrounding the fact that we would soon be upperclassmen, kinda. There's not much to say about sophomore year because it feels like a blur. Only one thing I can remember about sophomore year is that it gave us more responsibility and freedom, which carried over into our junior year where we felt unstoppable. We had fewer high school classes, more college classes, and more free time. Most of us had our licenses, cars, and no one could tell us we weren't adults. We hustled and bustled through junior year, getting our first jobs and later our first paychecks. We approached senior year with so much excitement because that meant we only had 1 year left until graduation. Our last 2 years have no doubt been the hardest for some of us as we finish our last requirements for graduation, like capstone project. Some of us have found our grit in this last year here, and some have figured that anything can be done at last minute. Now that graduation is finally here, so is the end to our high school journey. Every student knows that at every ending there is a test, which leads to a new beginning. Today we will walk across the stage and everyone will watch as we make evident that we have passed with flying colors. And these are a few things that have led us here. Number 1, be yourself. Stop wasting time being something you're not. The world is waiting on you, not another version of someone else. 2, stop comparing yourself and commit to being the truest version and the best version of yourself. 3, never doubt your abilities. 4, believe in yourself even when others don't. 5, never give up on your passions. 6, be faithful to your commitments. A few students asked me if I would give a shout out to them when I got nominated to speak, so a shout out to Mr. Luke and Mr. Darius. Number 7, set goals and meet those goals. 8, challenge yourself. 9, be a good friend, a really good friend. 10, don't let the fear of failing lead you to failure. So graduates, as you ready yourselves to walk across this stage and step into new adventures, I encourage you with a quote from Michael Dell. As you start your journey, the first thing you should do is throw away that store-bought map and begin to draw your own. Congratulations once again, class of 2016. I wish you the very best of luck in all your future endeavors.
What have y'all done to me? Y'all gonna put me behind Sattler and then them. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Will Smith. I taught your children English if you think this speech is okay. If you don't think it is, my name is Rob Seltzer, and I taught your children math. And students, I still think that you should have chosen Miss Abbott. I heard she was in second place next year. Good afternoon, graduates. Thank you. I'd like to start by congratulating you all on the work you've done to get to this point and say that I am incredibly proud to see you all graduating, especially those of you that I knew in the 4th grade when I was in teacher cadet, and I still have the little thing that you wrote. Looking at you, Ben. I'm here today because you voted me to be here today. Well played. I am both humbled and honored for that. I think I do have it on good authority, and it's been backed up by a second source that this is actually revenge. Once again, well played. Just remember this the next time. I've told y'all I screw up all the time. Case in point. Throughout the process of having to write this speech, I realized that it was actually the act of preparing the speech that made me think more of y'all than anything I was actually going to say. So I'm going to try and explain how that actually makes sense by walking you through the process of me trying to make this speech and the parts that actually made me think of you. Journeys begin very similar places. Lots of thoughts, feelings, emotion, confusion, terrible things. This was about 2 to 3 days after I figured out that y'all were going to make me speak, and it reminded me of your freshman year. Just lots of things I don't remember, and the things that I actually do remember are just painfully embarrassing freshman year. At one point, I had an idea that I vaguely remember that involved a slideshow of your freshman pictures, some gratuitous DJ Khaled inspirational quotes, and the In the Arms of the Angel song by Sarah McLachlan. Don't know why, but I ran that by my wife, and she told me that it was unprofessional. So I had to change something, and then she also asked me a question that I remember from your freshman year, which is, what are you actually supposed to be doing? And what also reminded me of your freshman year was I said, I really don't know, I just know that I'm supposed to be talking. And that's when I realized that I was reliving your high school experience. So much like you learned at the end of your freshman year, you have to ask help. I went by our wonderful principal's office and asked, what am I actually supposed to be doing? She's like, oh, you're doing the faculty reflection. So I had somewhere to start from there. We progressed to your sophomore and junior years. That part of your journey and my journey as well was a lot of references and a lot of research. And it didn't stop there, but we started the research. Some of you started the research there. Some of you started your senior year, but we'll pretend you did it in your sophomore year. What you learned that year was to sound like a lot of other people. Most of you chose to sound like a dictionary. I can very distinctly remember so many presentations. The good ones were according to Merriam-Webster. The other ones were according to freedictionary.com, and the other ones were no, you cannot cite the search page from Google as the definition. But for you, in remembrance of your sophomore year, I almost started this out with, according to dictionary.com, a reflection is defined as the act of reflecting, as in casting a light or heat. I'm very glad I did not do that based on that reaction. Your junior year continued based off of what you started with your sophomore year. Sophomore year, you learned how to sound like other people. Well, that's too close. Your junior year, you learned to take these bits and pieces of other people and start to sound like yourselves. You actually started to kind of look like what you look like now, which is you. A lot of you changed a whole lot during that junior year. But you also, through your high school coursework and your college coursework, shout out to Sattler, you learned how to take these other voices, incorporate it into your own, but not let them drown your voice out. You actually had a you at this point. Remember where you started, freshman year. This is a completely different ballgame now. You'd come so far then, but you weren't quite ready. So we've gone freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and super senior. I'm not going to really distinguish between the two at this point. You weren't quite ready. If we're being honest, there really wasn't anything that you hadn't learned at the end of your junior year that you were going to learn during their senior year that you couldn't have made it. but you were really, really rough and raw and unpolished. So you needed that senior year to take what you'd already learned and build on it. Case in point, the capstone, which is why I'm fairly certain that whole revenge thing at the beginning came from. To imagine like a hypothetical, I don't know how y'all do a hypothetical scenario. Let's just pretend that I could take freshman U. Imagine yourself as freshman U, and parents, you can get in on the fun as well. Imagine your child as a freshman again. What if I took freshman U, magically plopped them in this very gym? For those of you who did it last time, if you did it last year, let's go back to whichever room you were in over in the library. What if I could take freshman U and let you watch senior U do your capstone? You'd be pretty impressed. Even those of you that didn't think your capstone was very good, think about freshman U. For some of y'all, think about like the grading period before you. Some of you impressed yourselves. All of you impressed me, and all of you impressed the judges. I would like to make a point. Everybody who presented in my class last semester got an A. That's nuts. Freshman U could not have done that, and I don't even think second grading period U could have done that. So you've come a long way. And to take the same scenario and kind of make it even more interesting, imagine taking freshman U, giving them an outline, and making them present your senior project. And then you as a senior, you got to watch your freshman self fumble through your capstone. If you can't see a change between the freshman U and the senior U, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you there's a huge change between the freshman U and the senior U. So if that isn't like evidence of the progress that you've made from your freshman year to your senior year, then I don't know what is. Nothing that you did in that capstone project was new. You'd done it in any of the other courses that you'd done. You'd spoken, you'd written, you'd researched, historied, mathed, scienced, Englished, Spanished, all of those things. Nothing that you did was new, but it was the first time that you did it when you actually knew what was going on. And for some of you, it actually was like the first time you did it, but you still came through and it was still good. So that's what I want. One of the things I want you to take with you is you need to do things more than once. Think about how much better y'all got, and those of you that did it this year, from the first presentation to the second to the third. Practice. Y'all are so good at things if you do it more than once. There's so much potential. Kind of wrapping up. One thing I want to leave you with. As you go off to responsibly celebrate all of your achievements, y'all ain't done yet? God, I got like 3 paragraphs. Just stick with me. I had to listen to all your speeches. And you made me do this. I don't want you to celebrate this being the end of high school. This isn't the end of anything except the adjective that you're putting in front of student. Some of you are going from high school student to college student. Some of y'all are going from high school to soldier student, employee student. You're still a student. You're still learning. I don't care what dictionary.com defines a student as. If you are learning, you are a student. So for the rest of your life, you will be a student. You are not done learning. You are not done being a student. You are just changing the kind of student you are. Don't celebrate an end. Celebrate a beginning. This is a transition. Think about a biography that you've seen. Any kind of innovator, world leader. None of them end with, and then they graduated from high school. High school barely even gets in like the footnotes or the prologue because you're going to do so many different and better things. All of you in here could go on and do things that would put anything that you've done up to this point as just a little footnote in the prologue of your biography. All of you. Even the ones of you that aren't listening to me right now, you can still do it. That potential, every single one of you can affect the world that you're in dynamic and wonderful ways. And you're going to go on to do things that will turn this into just a little footnote in the long list of accomplishments of what you've done. And I can proudly say, and I think I speak for the rest of the faculty and staff, except for maybe Seltzer and Abbott at this point, because I feel like they don't like me right now, that we would be very proud and honored to have been a part of the little footnote before you became you and did all of the wonderful things that you've done. Your story hasn't even started. We're at the part that y'all skip on test, the little italicized part before the actual thing you're supposed to read. When you leave here today, that's the part that you're supposed to read. It's the actual story, and for the first time that I think of, you actually have the power to write it yourself. Everybody else has kind of been forming the words for you, telling you where to go. The pen is in your hands now. The rest of the story is not written, and I am very excited to see what you're going to do with the rest of the story. I thank you all for letting me be a part of this. Y'all are a great class. I think I love y'all. Y'all are great.
Ashley, thank you for remembering me from your freshman year. By the way, oh yeah, I was there. Everybody had me freshman year. Hi. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Miss Jessica Barrier, and I have taught all of your students at some point in time, most of them their freshman year, and some of them their freshman and sophomore year. So good evening, friends, students, and family. I have the pleasure and distinct honor of imparting my words of inspiration to you all. Before anything else, let me say to the class of 2016, I am proud of you. And on behalf of the Rockingham Early College staff, the Rockingham Community College staff, your family and friends, we are proud of you. So proud. You have each worked diligently for the past 5 years to earn this place of respect. Think about it. You are set apart from everyone else in this room, seated together in a place of prominence. You are dressed to be distinguished, and distinguished you are. You are the center of all of us, the reason we are here today. You have truly earned the seat that you find yourself in. You have had many trials and tribulations, and now at the end of your time here at the early college, you can count yourself as a success. Over the years, many of you have stopped by my classroom to check in and just say hi. Within about a minute, I would inevitably say something along the lines of, "So I heard that you," fill in the blank, or, "So how is so-and-so doing? I heard you went out on a date." And it never failed that Richard, Drew, or Chauncey were frequent of these conversations with me. And their responses, like many others who came to see me, were, "Yo, how did she know? Miss Barrier, you weren't supposed to know that." And my favorite is, "Dude, she knows everything." Because for some reason I always did. So today, I will impart on you my magic. I will let you in on my lifelong secret of how I knew and still know everything. Are you ready? Here it is. How to be an amazing person, a caring teacher, and a thoughtful friend. Ask questions and listen. That's it. My entire world of knowledge stems from these two things. I didn't see you all very often, especially after sophomore year, but that did not mean I didn't think of you. You would be surprised how often I asked your friends and other teachers about you. And by the way, your friends were more than happy to dish out the dirt. Just let you know. I am sure there were many points in time when I knew more about some of you than you knew about yourselves. I knew who you were talking to, what your last Snapchat was, and what grade you got on your college British lit paper, all before you made it back to my classroom. On other occasions, I just sat back and listened. Literally. I sat in the cafeteria, mezzanine, or in the classroom and just listened to what you were talking about. That, and I used that supersonic teacher hearing thing to decipher teen speak from across the room, which many of you think is an inhuman power, but really, you guys are just loud. When you think that no one is listening, you spill your guts. Everything. But trust me when I say that people are listening. Most of all, me. Now that I have divulged my secret to you, what will you do with this great wealth of knowledge? How will you use this magical power to your advantage? Easy. Ask questions and listen. If you want to be knowledgeable, and I'm assuming that you do based upon where you are currently sitting, ask questions and listen to the answers that you are given. Listen to the answers of other people's questions. You can achieve anything in life that you want if you just ask questions and listen to the answers. Want to know how to pass that university course that you're about to take? Ask questions. Not sure how to calculate the interest on a loan for that house that you want to buy for you and your family? Ask questions. Asking a question can be the difference between your success and your failure. Even if you feel foolish, ask anyway. The worst answer that anyone can give you is no. And remember, no is not that scary. I use it all the time, especially now that my son is 1. Okay. The word you should be afraid of is failure, a word you are sure to meet if you don't ask questions. Once you've begun to ask all of those questions, whether they seem important or not, listen to the answers that you get. Listen to everyone, first and foremost, your parents. You don't have to like what they say, but listen to them. Believe it or not, they sincerely want what is best for you. The answers they give you are what they truly believe will benefit you the most. Life is about to get a lot more exciting and a lot more difficult, but the part of your life that will remain true to you are your parents. They are the only people on earth who care more about you than they care about themselves. And at the end of the day, if what they say still doesn't make sense as you take a larger role in the complex world waiting for you outside of these walls, call me. Call me and ask more questions. Ask all the questions you can think of. Class of 2016, you sit in this distinguished position poised to make your mark on this ever-changing world that we live in. As students here, you are now our past, just as we are now yours. But with that past behind us all, you have become our future. Go out and ask questions about the world around you, the world we've been waiting patiently to give you. Go out and listen to the answers, to discover how to make the world a better place than we could have ever imagined. Go out into the world, but never forget those who have supported you through thick and thin. We all love you. I love you. And I wish all of you the best that life has to offer. Congratulations to you all, Rockingham Early College graduates, class of 2016.
Good evening, parents, family, and friends of the class of 2016. First things first, to the graduating class, we made it. After 5 long years and all those nights of hard work and mastering the art of procrastination, we have finally reached graduation. This is the part where I guess I should probably say something about what our future is going to hold or what we are going to do with our lives when we walk out those doors today. But instead, I want to take a minute to reflect on the past and how we got to this point. Think about it. In these last 5 years, we have made friends that became like a second family, and memories that we will hold on to long after we leave today. Granted, some of these years and memories are now a blur, but there are still some distinct ones, like getting drenched in the rain from walking from Humanities to Owens freshman year, after which I'm sure, like me, many of us never forgot to bring an umbrella on those rainy days. Or in junior year, when we've hit that brick wall and we started promising ourselves that we weren't going to procrastinate, but we never actually listened to ourselves. And then last year, when Danielle and I were in bio lab, and I always did the dissections, and she took the pictures because she couldn't handle it, which is totally fine by me, because I'm a science geek and all. In all seriousness, though, these last 5 years have given us an experience that we will never forget. This is the place where we became the gamers, and the history buffs, and the science geeks, and so much more. I wouldn't be the same if it weren't for academic challenge, so thank you, Mr. Hunter and Miss Abbott, for giving me the chance to embrace my inner nerd. Not only did we discover who we were, but we also grew up and matured with our classmates. We're such a small graduating class that we know each and every one of our peers. After we walk out those doors today, we will be officially done with high school, and all we will have left are the memories. And so, as Dr. Seuss says, don't cry because it happened, or don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. Congratulations, class of 2016.
Good evening, my fellow graduates, family, and friends. Thank you all for coming out to our graduation and supporting us through all the years that have led to this moment. Early college was a challenge academically, but it was a challenge that we all accepted, and as you can see today, we completed. Through my 5 years, I've made lifelong friendships and memories that I will cherish forever. I wouldn't have made it this far without the moral support of my teachers, family, and friends. I can honestly say that we have made our mark at this school. One of the memories I will never forget was sophomore year when our class participated in the first lip sync. A huge thank you to Miss Barrier for taking the time out of her days and weeks to help coordinate and put the routine together. We all spent hours picking songs, learning choreography, and staying after to rehearse. What I got from this experience was that learning can be fun. No, we were not reading books, writing papers, or giving speeches. We were learning how to take in others' ideas and work them in with our own, and how to come together in unison to get one outcome. But most importantly, I learned how to build lasting memories and friendships. Doing activities like these outside of school allowed all of us to be ourselves and not have to act completely civilized like we have to do in school. And this helped all of us to connect to one another on a more personal level. Thank you to all of our teachers we had for not only teaching us what the curriculum says, but for adding life lessons in with everything that we did. Without Miss Thompson, who I heard wasn't here, but I'm going to talk about her anyways, I would probably be in a lot of debt because we spent a lot of time in seminar watching Dave Ramsey talking about how to stay out of debt. Without Mr. Seltzer and Miss Chrisman, I wouldn't have made a B in my math class last semester, and I'm very horrible at math, so thank you. I don't know where Mr. Seltzer is. Thanks. Thank you to Miss TH for putting things together like prom, yearbooks, school dances, and MS walks. You were always very involved, but most importantly, you always made sure that we were involved and that our opinions were taken into consideration. Thank you, Mr. Hunter, for your hard work in teaching us about biology. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez, for teaching me Spanish and having faith in me, even when I doubted myself. Thank you, Mr. Smith and Ms. Thomas, for always finding a way to make English fun and for also incorporating what was going on in the world with our lessons and talks. Thank you to Ms. Abbott and Ms. Barrier for helping us understand history and not sugarcoating anything of the past. And also, Ms. Abbott, thank you for having an endless supply of lotion in your room on the ASHE days. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hairston and Ms. Capel, for leading us into the right direction on the college side and helping us make the right choices so that we were prepared for university. A big thank you to Ms. Whitty. Even though you were very hard on us, you taught us that being on time and where you needed to be is a big responsibility, and that is in our best interest to always be on top of things. Thank you to all of the new teachers that I haven't had the joy of having, and who are giving the underclassmen the tools that they need to get to this point. Thank you, Ms. Hill, for holding our school together, and being in charge of a school is a big job, and being in charge of us was probably even bigger. But you did so well at it, and I thank you for all your love and support of RECHS for the past 5 years. Thank you to our family and to our friends for motivating us and always being here when we needed outside help. Without you guys, we wouldn't be standing here today. Last but not least, thank you to all of my classmates. Thank you for all the memories, the good and the bad. Thank you for all the laughs, tears, and hugs. I will never forget you guys, and even though we're all going our separate ways, I hope you can sit back and remember the time we spent here together. I'm so proud of all of you, and I wish the best for you and all of our futures. After 5 years, we did it, not just as students, but as family. So I can say now in our last few moments is be the best you can be, and always remember that when you leave here, we will still be family. Thank you.
Seniors, graduates, I feel very fortunate that I had the opportunity to get to know each of you over these past 5 years, because if you remember, 5 years ago, I was new too. Thank you for training me. I'm sure that you trained me because I had a difficult time thinking that I trained you. You have become true leaders in our school and also in the college, and I'm convinced right now that your potential is limitless. You can achieve anything. You guys have a quick update to what we had in the program. You've been awarded more than $1.3 million in scholarships as of yesterday. And that's a record, guys, and it's not too shabby for 56 graduates. Your future is bright, and so before I give you your diplomas, I want to just share with you my wish for you. There seems to be a theme going on because a lot of folks have talked tonight, the ones that have spoken to you previously, about mistakes and that kind of thing, and failing, and how the world is hard. So I just want to say that I hope in the next year and the years to come you do make mistakes. Because if you aren't making mistakes, you're not stretching yourself. You only avoid mistakes when you stay in your comfort zone and you stay in the safe lane. When you make mistakes, it means that you're trying new things, you are learning, you're living, you're pushing yourself, you're changing yourself, and you're changing the world just like you changed our school. My wish for you is that you make new mistakes. Glorious, bold, amazing mistakes, mistakes no one else has ever even dreamed of yet. Whatever it is that you're scared of doing, just do it. Don't freeze, don't stop trying. Don't worry that your efforts won't be good enough or that the results of your attempts aren't perfect. Your ultimate success in achieving your goals may start out as a mistake. I hope you will always be willing to take that chance. And now, the most important part of our evening. Before we begin awarding diplomas, I'd like to remind the audience that graduation from high school is a memorable occasion for each graduate and for his or her family. To make this a special event for each individual, we request that you be attentive and please refrain from loud outbursts and applause when the student's name is being read, so that it does not interfere with the student's name being heard. Parents and friends who wish to come forward to take photographs are please asked to stand to the left side of the stage only, as we reserve this front area here for the photographer who will be taking pictures for our school. At this time, I ask those of you who are assisting with awarding of diplomas to join us on stage while the student speakers on stage make their way to their seats. Mr. Kevin Hairston will be calling the name of each graduate before he or she comes across the stage to receive her diploma and the congratulations of Dr. Shotwell and Dr. Perkins.
Jamie Nicole Barron, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, High Honors, English Department, Phi Theta Kappa, Sigma Kappa Delta. Vanessa Campos. Chauncey Malik Carter, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, high honors, perfect attendance. Danielle Lee Carter. Jesse Earl Carter, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, high honors, Science Department, Phi Theta Kappa. Tristan Drew Cook. Karishma Desai, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, high honors, Science Department, Phi Theta Kappa, Sigma Kappa Delta, perfect attendance, Herff Jones Scholarship Award. Raven Cheyenne Diaz, RCC graduate, high honors. Aaron Antoine Dickerson, RCC graduate, honors. John Eric Dishman, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, high honors. Abigail Sierra Jubilee Erickson, RCC graduate, honors. Marissa Renee Fain, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, high honors. Elliot Lee Graves, RCC graduate, high honors. Lydia Michael Gwynn. Tyson J. Hairston. Nicholas Lee Hill, RCC graduate, honors. Charles Anthony Hockett. Jose Jamarello Mirez, RCC graduate, high honors. Ashlea Jordan Johnson, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, high honors. Jacob Lane Jones, RCC graduate, honors. Michaela Renee Jones. Perrin Arthur Morgan Ketchum, high honors. Anna Summerlin Kohler, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, high honors, Math Department, Phi Theta Kappa, Sigma Kappa Delta. Madison Page Leloin, RCC graduate, honors. Hannah Elizabeth Little, RCC graduate, National Honor Society, high honors. Rashad M. Luke, RCC graduate, honors. Benjamin Jason Lynch, RCC graduate, high honors. Jonathan Taylor Manuel. Adam Taylor Martin, RCC graduate, high honors, social studies. Darius Shaquan Martin, RCC graduate, high honors. Kennedy Nicole Mayo, high honors. Tyree Shakur McFarland, National Honor Society, High Honors, Perfect Attendance. Jason Roy McLaughlin, High Honors, RCC Graduate. Jackie Moore III. Mercedes Emile Patterson, RCC Graduate, National Honor Society, High Honors. Taylor Levette Phillips, RCC Graduate, Honors. Caitlin Renee Poe, RCC Graduate, High Honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Mahogany Kenesha Pratt, Honors. Christian Tyler Rail, RCC Graduate, Honors. Connie Rios, High Honors. Bradley Alexander Ross, RCC Graduate, High Honors, Sigma Kappa Delta. Courtney Delane Shelton, RCC Graduate, National Honor Society, High Honors. Elena Nicole Smith, RCC Graduate, High Honors. Haley Marie Smith. Liam Ezra Smith. Ryan James Southern, RCC Graduate, High Honors. Morgan Page Stanley, RCC Graduate, National Honor Society, High Honors, Phi Theta Kappa, Sigma Kappa Delta. Meredith Brooke Stone, RCC Graduate, High Honors. Dana Kamal Suleiman, RCC Graduate, National Honor Society, High Honors, Phi Theta Kappa, Sigma Kappa Delta. Natalie Grace Tuggle, RCC Graduate, High Honors. Caroline Gray Watkins, RCC Graduate, National Honor Society, High Honors, Math Department, Phi Theta Kappa, Sigma Kappa Delta. Rachel Elizabeth Webster, RCC Graduate, Honors. Danielle Nicole Wilson, RCC Graduate, National Honor Society, High Honors, Foreign Language Department, Social Studies.
Class of 2016, please stand. By the authority granted to me by the state of North Carolina and the Rockingham County Schools, I pronounce you graduates of Rockingham Early College High School. Traditionally, the tassel is worn on the right side of the mortarboard to represent that students have not yet graduated and is moved once students receive their diplomas. Class of 2016, please turn your tassels from right to left. You may be seated. At this time, Mr. Hairston will provide our closing remarks. I would like to remind the audience members, please remain seated at the end of the program until all of the graduates and our guests on stage have exited the gym.
All right. I know most of y'all ready to get out of here, so we won't be long. Trust me. Mark Twain once said, 2 of the most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. The first one everybody knows. Y'all celebrate that every year without fail. Days off, whatever. As you get older, you'll celebrate it over and over again. I think my sister's been 25, I don't know how long. It's okay. It's a great day. It's a very important day. The second one is what I want to talk to you about. It'll probably be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. As you know, life is hard. School has been a struggle for a lot of you. Some of you not so much, but day to day it is a struggle. So I want you to do something for me. Up until this point, everyone in your life besides yourself has told you what you need to do. Why you need to go to school, why you need to have a job, why you need to pay your own bills. Someone has done that for you. But once you walk out that door, all that ends. It's just about you. So, I want you to take 20 seconds, that's all I'm asking, and think of the 5 things in this life you love. 20 seconds. All right, it's close enough. When I was in college, I took a class called Psychology of Motivation. My instructor told me, whatever your first 3 things were, that's your motivation in life. I do not want to know what those 3 things are. But that's what motivates you right now. Those things are what make you who you are. Whether it's your family, your friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be, those things right now define who you are. That'll change over time, but right now, that's your motivation. As you get older, it will change, but it will still be your motivation in life. My motivation is young people. That's why I do what I do. I challenge you to find your why. Why do you want to do whatever you are going to do next? Whatever it may be, why do you want to do it? We can show you how. Mr. Smith for years has tried to show you how to write a good paper. We can't tell you why. That's sometimes something you have to figure out for yourself. Life is the same way. Why do you want to be whatever you want to be? Why do you want to go wherever you want to go? Why is college important? The why defines who you are moving forward. Your parents can't give you why. Your friends can't give you why. You have to do why on your own. I can guarantee you, if your why revolves around how much money you make, you're going to hate your job. If your why revolves around what your friends think or what they're going to do, you're going to resent them. You have to make this choice for yourself. What is your why? I asked you to come up with things that you loved in this world. How long did it take to get to yourself? If you weren't in that top 5, then you're going to have a problem when you walk out those doors. It's not that you aren't important, it's that you don't consider yourself important. You are the most important thing on this earth. We can't give you anything else beyond what we've done. So, Socrates once said, I can't teach anybody anything. I can only make you think. That's all I'm asking you to do. When you leave this school, understand the thought process that goes into every decision you're going to make for the rest of your life. Why do you want to do it? Again, we love you and we will be here for you as long as you need us. But we can't motivate you to do anything after you leave those doors. You all matter. You matter to us, okay? You are extremely important to us. But until you become a priority in your own life, it doesn't matter. Now, as you all know, if you ever need me, you can try to stop by my office. I will probably not be there. But if you ever truly need me, I will find you. Okay? All right. So, to the class of 2016, take every opportunity to find your why, because that will define who you are for the rest of your life. Those in the audience, please remain seated until our students leave. But the class of 2016, please rise.